Welcome, my friends, to the showdown between the Skaven, who shall be led by Ikit Claw and his dreaded Doomwheel. Today, guys, we face off against the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be led by Falcon, as well as Archaon the Ever-Chosen. So, the replay I'm about to show you guys is probably one of the most absurd moments I've seen in Total War Warhammer 2 in quite some time. There's an ability that's going to be used in this match. I don't want to spoil it because it's going to be really fun when it just suddenly happens. That is insanely broken, but nonetheless, guys, stay tuned. It's going to be a wild one. Now, as far as the build goes, I wanted to go something very unorthodox. So here in the front line, we have nothing but Skaven slaves. And basically, what I did is I was expecting a Chaos Rush with like Chaos Spawn. So to deal with Spawn, I have a couple of groups of the Gutter Runners with Night Runners. So those guys are pretty efficient. They have decent DPS against lightly armored targets, like Chaos Spawn, for example. I can kite back, and then the Spawn are mostly going to be fighting Skaven slaves and chaff. Eventually, yes, they will get to a Warp Lightning Cannon, but when they get back there, I then have another Warp Lightning Cannon on the other side of the map, with the difference in kind of the middle being protected by Eshin Triads, which can intercept them with their bonus first large and potentially do some decent work. So that's pretty much it. It's going to be Skaven slaves, Gutter Runners. In the back, I do, of course, have Eshin Triads, plus the ROR Ixchus Triads, which I think are an amazing unit. They're really good. Being able to summon those clones as a roadblock is just so damn powerful. Of course, we have two Warp Lightning Cannons to blast some of the big things of Chaos, and Falcon, a very scary Vanguard. He's actually about to crush on my position very quickly, which is ultimately going to be very, very good against my Warp Lightning Cannons in the silent position. Granted, the other side is going to be very free to shoot this entire time. So Warp Lightning Cannons here, Gutter Runners. We do, of course, have a Plague Priest, which is really good against Chaos. If you're worried about dealing with Chaos Infantry, just bring a Plague Priest or a Furnace, and you're going to be able to Mortis Engine them down, summon rats to kind of just harp at them. It's very, very effective. So Plague Priest here, plus Ikit Claw on the wheel. He doesn't really have too much else. I believe he just has the Orb, which does, of course, a little bit of AoE damage, but that's going to be it. So for Falcon's build, he does have, it looks like, some Marauder Horsemen to deal with like Hellpit Abominations and large threats like that, a bunch of dogs to pressure gun lines, and it looks like he does have a bunch of Aspiring Champions, so getting a little bit hog wild, but nonetheless, I mean, had I over-invested in killing infantry, for example, like these Aspiring Champions would have been a very cheap kind of a shielded unit that would be tough for my skirmishers to deal with. So he does have Aspiring Champions here. He's trying to make me pay the troll toll in the back with his gold chevron trolls, rocking 67 leadership, certainly no joke with the support of Archaon's Crown of Domination. He does also have the Exalted Hero, and that is going to be pretty much it. So let's get the show on the road, guys, and have some fun. So in the back, the Warp Lightning Cannon shooting in, trying to make the trolls pay the troll toll, but it looks like going after some Aspiring Champs initially. Granted, not really that worth it. They're very, very cheap. And the Doomwheel is going to be coming into the front line, running these guys over, able to get some okay damage here against these Aspiring Champions. And in the back, the dogs are going to be coming in as well. So Scurvy Dogs coming in, going to be summoning some little rat boys, some clan rats right here to help deal with these Chaos Hounds as they come in, and the Plague Furnace should be very helpful here. On top of that, we do have the Ixchus Triads, so we summoned a decoy. So the decoy blocks the initial charge of the Hounds, able to really do a good job there, and then the other Triads are going to be coming in to help, but it looks like, oh, there's going to be a beautiful Burning Head coming right. Oh no, the damn cliff face ruined the cinematic here. You guys still get most of it, but yeah, when you go too close with the camera to that like rock right there, it actually just totally shreks you. But nonetheless, the Flaming Skull is able to come in there, get some really good, nice damage on the decoys. Now, as far as the main group, it actually doesn't make contact at all. It did like no damage. So that's pretty solid there. And the Warp Lightning Cannon is still shooting. Right here, you can see the Plague Priest is still going fisticuffs here in the front line, fighting Aspiring Champions, Trolls, most things that aren't really a good target for it. Now, on the other side, we are able to break the Trolls, and we eventually will get these Aspiring Champions down, and Ikit Claw is going to be coming over here to help out. And so far, it's been okay. We've done some okay damage. I mean, Chaos has taken some heavy casualties on the Hounds, but the Trolls are in pretty good shape. He's able to crump my Clan Rats right here. The Triads doing their best to try and fight back Archaon the Ever-Chosen, but obviously not the best situation. So here you can see we're getting a little bit of focus fire on the Exalted Hero using Howling Warpgale to lock him down, and Falcon in response is going to be getting his Marauder Horsemen and surging into my Gutter Runners right there, and definitely is doing a very good job of kind of stopping my firepower. But nonetheless, Ikit Claw able to get in there. But watch this Piercing Bolt. Watch this, guys. Just look at the damage it does. It is so absurd. Oh man, so that was the main thing I was trying to show you. That's why I was sitting here. I wasn't sure exactly when it happened, but so guys, Piercing Bolts is just an insanely busted ability right now. Like, it literally can like one-shot things. It is really, really brutal. So with one attack animation plus a Piercing Bolts, he's able to essentially one-shot my Plague Priest, like take him from like full health to almost nothing. Now, I had no idea about this. I actually looked at my Plague Priest and I was like, oh man, Archaon with Slayer of Kings is really strong, but of course Falcon then told me that the dreaded Piercing Bolts can do a ton of damage. So very, very powerful stuff right there. I would definitely say borderline broken, as you guys will see it used again here in this replay. But anyways, the Exalted Hero here is going to be getting Howling Warpgale once again. The Skaven going to be firing in with all their Shriekins and Ninja Stars, trying to take this bad boy out, trying to get rid of the mobility. And even though we have lost his side of the formation, and you can see Chaos is quite tattered as well. Their dogs are very, very beaten up. I have a force of troops here that are in relatively good shape, and they're going to be heading this way. We are getting some okay kiting here against Chaos Trolls and some of these other guys, with the Exalted Hero being afflicted with the Howling Warpgale up in the sky, and from there we should be able to get some really good Warp Lightning Cannon fire on him. So yeah, just using Skaven slaves to tie up these Chaos Trolls and try and halt their advance, sacrificing some Night Runners as well to the Dark Gods here to allow them to occupy Archaon the Everchosen. Brave Skaven indeed, and Ikit Claw in the meantime did take a huge beating from Archaon as well. So at this point, he's going to be falling back, trying to find some good engagements, basically just going to be using him to cause terror. But yeah, Archaon's kind of rampaging through my back lines, but the Trolls are slowly getting picked apart. Warp Lightning Cannon's getting some really good kills, and this Warp Lightning Cannon has good ammo and nice separation. You can see by splitting up the Warp Lightning Cannons in the back, I was able to kind of, basically make sure that not everything at once was compromised, because had I had them in a more traditional formation, had them close together, Falcon's army would have been able to easily just overrun my position and probably take those guys out. Anyways, Warp Lightning Cannon still shooting in, pounding some of those Trolls. He is able to push back some Skaven slaves here, and Archaon is a little bit tar-pitted with some Rat Ogres. Now, he eventually will win this fight, most likely, but we're still getting some good HP damage. You can see he's about 4,300 right now, but the Ogre is actually struggling a little bit to make contact there, but these Night Runners, Gutter Runners, all these guys are going to be falling back. As the Troll Toll is coming, it looks like Falcon did drop a Burning Head as well in that Warp Lightning Cannon, but he wasn't able to really finish those guys off. And Ikit Claw, thankfully, is still in good shape, and I'm not sure where he went. I think he's riding up here, was routing off some of those Warhounds that were trying to get back here. And now that the Warhounds are all broken off, I can basically take a relatively safe approach and just leave this. So watch this Burning Head right here, these piercing bolts. Watch this Warp Lightning Cannon just get shreked. Just a single cast right there, 11 winds of magic, and let's see what it does to these lovely Warp Lightning Cannons. So I tried to run, and it just literally nuked them into the Shadow Realm. It kills 2 pieces, annihilates the crews. I think that has got to be one of the better spells in the game right now. It one-shot my single entity, it one-shots my artillery piece. What more can you ask for? So anyways, here you can see the Gutter Runner is going to be falling back, trying to get some sweet ninja stars on these aspiring champions, these Marauder Horsemen, some of these other troops here. Rat Ogres are also being pushed back by Archaon, which is a little bit scary. But guys, I have a trick in the back pocket. The Skaven are elusive indeed. And the Warp Lightning Cannon crew did come back, and they were able to get back online right as this Exalted Hero came back, and they're going to be turning, dropping some heavy fire, and he is going to be breaking -28, and that boy is pushed back. So there are some Trolls over here as well, but we are able to break him, which is huge, and he's actually going to be going down. So at this point, we don't really have to worry about him coming back. Now, as far as the balance of power goes, Falcon is certainly still ahead. We're in a little bit of a dire situation here. At least we have some Skaven slaves coming to fight these Trolls here. So maybe with our anti-large and a little bit of hope, we might be okay. But Archaon is going to be the big issue. So realizing this side of the battlefield, again, is in a little bit of a dire position, we're going to be getting Ikit Claw and some of our Slingers and pulling back towards this side of the battlefield because we do have this Warp Lightning Cannon. So that means if we can pull Archaon into the open, get some good focus fire on him in that respect, we could potentially get back in this game. So you can see Ikit Claw here going to be trying to juke, but unfortunately Archaon, the Foe Seeker, has been popped, is hunting me down, but Gutter Runners do have poison melee attacks as well, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, did I forget to bring poison Gutter Runners this game? I might have. Oh man, that's a huge mistake. I was using them hoping they would be poisoning and kiting, but yeah, anyways, a little bit of a hacker mistake there, but it's okay. So again, keeping Ikit Claw alive, quite important here because he is able to use his terror to kind of break off Trolls and some of these units that, of course, don't really have the best leadership for their cost. And the Triads are still kind of robbing the freeways, having a good old time here. You can see he does come back with some Trolls, and I had to fall back here with the Warp Lightning Cannon. We do have the Ixcha's Triads who are going to be coming in. Eager, and again, that 54 speed, or 47 right now, is really, really helpful as these guys are going to come in, and they should make really, really quick work of these Trolls, which I believe are turning and running. No, they haven't shattered or broken yet. No, they're going to be shattering pretty hard here. What's also nice is that now Chaos is going to have to reform its ranks and get its forces and just march all the way across here. And having that tug of war kind of deployment here with the Warp Lightning Cannons, again, really, really paying huge dividends. And I also do have the Doppelgangers from the Ixcha's Triads, which I can summon to try and halt the advance of these foul Chaos forces. So Archaon's coming over, definitely going to be trying to assassinate Ikit Claw, and the Warp Lightning Cannon is going to be jumping back online and going after Archaon. And here comes the shot. The Triad's going to be surging in as well. Their anti-large certainly going to be very warranted here, as it will actually also put the armor of Archaon down to 60 because they do have that juicy armored sundering ability. So Archaon dodging a couple shots, taking one to the face, but I do have 2 groups of Triads, both of which are relatively healthy, and Archaon does have some decent, crowd damage or AoE damage in the form of some of his magic abilities, but of course it's going to take him a while to cut through all these guys. So basically, I just have to juke with the Triads, or excuse me, with Ikit Claw, use the Triads to kind of chase him down here, and then get the Warp Lightning Cannon shooting whenever I can. We have some Ogres coming back, some Night Runners, some other troops like that. Chaos does have some aspiring champions, Marauder Horsemen, as well as some Chaos Trolls coming back, but it's starting to look more and more grim for Chaos as Archaon is taking a lot of anti-large damage, especially from the Ixcha's Triads, and wow, look at that, Archaon actually taking out a Warp Lightning Cannon. What an absolute beast right there. But he's taking about 300 or 400. I'm gonna sip of water here real quick. I actually just got back from Poland and just that long trip, the airplane and everything, man, it's always brutal. But Eshin Triads coming in, Ixcha's Triads getting some nice shanking, Archaon down to about 1800 HP, and realizing that the units over here are a little bit fickle for Chaos, relatively weak troops. We're going to be getting Ikit Claw right here. He's going to be riding dirty and hopefully riding down some of those Chaos Marauders and different troops like that, or Marauder Horsemen, excuse me. And in the meantime, Archeon the Everchosen, popping Slayer of Kings, is fully surrounded, still just getting shanked. Rat Eater is coming in as well to provide some mass to this Skaven fight to make sure that this bad boy can't get away. And it looks like, my friends, the end times have been averted, as Archeon the Everchosen going to be getting shanked by a bunch of angry rats. And as a matter of fact, I'm reading the Gotrek and Felix books. And one of the books, there's actually a couple of fights between the Skaven armies and the Warriors of Chaos, which are quite fun. So that's going to be it, guys. Well played. What a wild game. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the absurdity of that Burning Bolts. I'll probably actually do another video, maybe a testing video or something with that, showing you guys how insanely powerful it is. So it basically one-shotted my Plague Priest. It was just really, really crazy. And as a matter of fact, just so you guys can get a good look of it right now, let's go ahead and just go right back into this replay. I'll just fast forward to that moment to really show you guys what it was capable of. But as far as this build goes, I don't know how it would work against more traditional build. Falcon obviously just trying wild builds. I mean, that's the time to practice, right? When you're playing with your friends, you're not in tournaments, just try out really extreme things like Vanguards with Troll Rushes and Archeon. Obviously, the Piercing Bolts was really, really good. And probably until that gets patched will be, I would imagine, a staple for most Chaos builds. It's really, really powerful. But yeah, and I think this build would have done pretty well against Spawn, because Spawn would have to kind of stay high and tight and bum rush a single formation. And if they detach from the main formation, you can then kite them and pick them apart with Gutter Runners and the Triads and things like that. So I actually think a build like this might be okay against Chaos Spawn Rush. Granted, your micro would have to be pretty on point, but nonetheless, I think it's decent. So well played to Falcon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. And now, guys, let's jump back into that replay and we'll show you the goods. I'll actually use the Spawn, kind of like tar pit this, and I forget, like, I haven't used Piercing Bolts in so long, I can't even remember what the effect it has is when you overcast it. So we'll try this real quick. Okay, wider strike area. If we do this, it seems to be, yeah, wider strike area, more projectiles, so we'll definitely be overcasting it here. The Dread Saurian's like, I don't want any part of that right now. I don't want any part of it. So we're going to be going in here, so let's go ahead and get these guys going right there. And I wonder how it'll do against, like, a tiny little red Skink Chief. Probably not that great. All right, so here comes the Spawn. Let's get in there, boys. And hopefully the Dread Saurian will stay relatively still here. So we're going to be dropping that right on him. I don't know if that was the best cast, but we'll try and get a couple over the course of this. Okay, he's pretty much right on top of that here. So here it comes. He's got 11,000 HP right now, and the Piercing Bolts does take a long time. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is so broken. That does like 6,000 damage to that Dread Saurian. That is insane. Oh my god. All right, so let's chase off the Dread Saurian here with Archeon if we can. And then from there, we'll try another Piercing Bolts in 18 seconds. All right, so we'll pull back here. I wonder how it'll do against like the little Skink Chief guys. So we're going to go in here with Archeon. We'll attack you. That was the overcasted variant, but I mean, let's try the regular one. See how this does here. All right, so let's go ahead and fight. Man, that is really nuts. Okay, so the Dread Saurian needs to scoot back into its position. Here comes another one. It does have a long cast time, so it is something that your opponent can dodge. Okay. All right then. Alrighty then. Oh my god. That is nuts. Well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. You get the gist of it. Piercing Bolts is really good now. Give it a try against, like, you're worried about a Mammoth? There you go. You have an answer. I mean, your opponent can dodge it, but if you catch a Mammoth in a position where it's pinned in by high mass units, good night, Sweet Prince. You're going to be paying the troll toll. And just imagine against, like, things that don't have 11,000 HP, like single entities that are in, like, 5 or 6 range. Yeah, good night. That's going to be rough. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care.